Hey guys, it's me. I know this is a little late. Normally I have this a lot sooner. Just it was a very, very, very busy weekend, and there was a lot of stuff going on, both in my personal life, both my admin and the admin life, and also I don't know if you guys have ever seen me. I'm gonna be upfront. I know you've probably seen me mention it in the group a few times, but I have made made it quite clear. Probably people have seen from like the random blow ups. Um, Bipolar, and one of the downsides of it is unless you're in constant therapy and are medicated, to which I am not for lack of trying, um, it's a little difficult to control the mood swings. So I've been having fun dealing with that this weekend as well. I'm just kind of finally starting to come out of a depressive phase that just like really drug me down this weekend. So still not feeling too hot, but that's actually physically, which is why you see me in my PJs and you see everything, like you see my candle over there, and uh, I got a blanket here, kind of holding heat in because women's stuff. Hey, never said I was a lady, just said I was an honest woman. But yeah, I do apologize for the wait. So at least I'll always be upfront with you guys. So I got my coffee. Mm, at least tried to make myself feel better last yesterday with new nails. So it's gonna match my hair. So when you see me, when we do this again in 2 weeks, you're gonna see a big old shock of purple going into silver. It's gonna be tits. And if I keep it like that means you guys will have no trouble spotting me at WrestleMania. So I'm just gonna get straight to the questions. I'm gonna answer them to the best as best I can. For one specific question, it's going to be a two-part answer, and I say it's going to be a two-part because I'm going to do my best to answer it here, and then in 2 weeks when I do the next video, I'll have a better answer for him. So, and yeah, it was all guys this time, so I'm not really all that surprised, though. It's mainly a guys group. So, okay. First question is from AJ. AJ, I trust you're keeping your ass out of trouble in the group. Don't make me lay the smackdown on you yet again. How many times a week do I have to do that? And he is asking, who were the top 5 jobbers in your opinion? You didn't necessarily specify if you were talking WWE, WCW, ECW, Indies, what have you. Usually when people think jobbers, they think WCW or WWE, so we'll just stick with WWE. I think you can't mention all-time jobbers without mentioning Barry Horowitz. One of the best jobbers in the world. I grew up watching him. I always liked him. I was watching because as soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh, yep, he's gonna lose. Of course, I was little and I didn't realize that term jobber existed. Brooklyn Brawler, if I remember correctly. This is the Brooklyn Brawler. Zack Ryder! Even though he had a banner of the year last year, he actually won some matches and he actually collected paychecks. Sorry, music. Oh, Helmet. Okay, cool. And Helmet, and they played Ministry earlier. You should be so happy. Anyway, back onto the subject. Two jobbers. The last two jobbers I'm gonna mention. And I'm sure this is gonna have everybody up in arms until they really think about it. Cactus Jack and Daniel Bryan. Because before they hit their stride, they were definitely jobbers, and they are definitely examples of jobbers who have really made their way to the top and made legends of themselves. So for all of you who are wanting to get into the biz and are afraid you're going to go the role of the jobber, bear in mind, it can actually work out for you. Another really famous jobber, Al Snow. Granted, that was the head gimmick was just really weird and just even made me cringe. But he started as a jobber and he at least had some fame, but yeah, not all jobbers stay jobbers forever. There's some to aspire to. Thanks, AJ. This question's now officially a little awkward considering this was yesterday, but JR, my man. Unfortunately, the previous Fappy winner, maybe he'll be Fappy winner next year. Maybe he and Gary will tie next year, or this year, rather, because it's 2015. Will you be watching Wrestle Kingdom 9? If not, why not? Is the language barrier or is it because of the language barrier or the lack of exposure in the States? Well, considering that Wrestle Kingdom 9 was yesterday / this morning, no, I did not watch it. And really at yesterday, just honestly, I wasn't really feeling it. It was like really late at night. I wanted to wait until there was a full rip online so I could watch it and not have to worry about my stream jobbing on me every 5 seconds like it's wont to do. Also, I might actually be writing an article. Ooh, I still gotta write some articles. I kind of want to write some articles, an article about it for the Pit Sports and Entertainment. Shout out. I mean, I heard that JR. I mean, weren't JR and Stryker supposed to be doing commentary? I mean, even if there's a language barrier, I can mute it. I don't give. I mean, I'm one of those people who commentary adds a bit of spice, understandable. But I don't necessarily need it in order to enjoy the product. I am curious about it because Lord knows I need to expose myself to other promotions anyway. So no, I did not watch it, but I will be watching it in due time. I don't. If I don't watch it tonight, I'm gonna watch it at some point this week. Um, Hopefully soon, so I can get it a review out in a timely fashion for the Pit. Which I'm going to have some articles for them. It's been a rough spell. It's been a little bit of a dry spell when it comes to my articles, guys, just because not much was really going on. But now that we have the authority back, and we're in 2015, maybe I have something to write about again. But yes, I will be in next Wrestle Kingdom. I will definitely try to watch as it's happening, if I can. Big DZ, how old were you when you first started watching wrestling? Oh, I was a wee bit. Okay, not entirely a wee bit, but I think it was 10. Um, I always want to say that the first pay-per-view, I always go by the first solid pay-per-view I remember watching, which was WrestleMania 10. Brett and Owen. And, ladder match with Razor and Primus. With the Intercontinental ladder match with Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels, which also led to the first time I ever saw a grown male's ass. So thank you for that, Shawn. Thank you, Scott Hall. That was a hallmark moment for me. However, I am fairly certain I actually started watching in January 90. I believe it's January 94. I distinctly remember, and the only reason I remember this is because I recently saw a GIF of it that just brought back a wave of memories. Someone had put a GIF online from, I believe it was at Royal Rumble 94 when Undertaker was buried, and then, they showed him just like going to sleep, and then coughing, and it was Yokozuna. I remember that. I distinctly remember watching that and going, oh! Because that was so cool and I hadn't seen that before. So I'm actually fairly certain that my first pay-per-view was Royal Rumble 94, or at least some highlights of it. Still sticking with WrestleMania 10 though. So I'm about 10 years old because I turned 10 in September 93. So I always do the math I'm 6 months older than WrestleMania. So yeah, I wasn't like young, but I was young enough to believe, at that time it was still real to me. Still real to me, damn it! My mom had to ruin that for me. And then once I saw how the guys took bumps, I'm like, oh, that's how that works. A non-wrestling question from everybody's favorite thirsty Pero, Antonio. Hi, baby. He's gonna kick my ass. Just to know, anytime you submit a question, Louise, I will always refer to you as Antonio. The thirsty Pero thing may or may not be reoccurring. I have yet to decide on that, but I'm sure Chad and Mike will appreciate it. Shout out to Old Black Cock and Fat White Cock. Who are your top 5 favorite comic book characters? Straight off the bat, without even thinking, with that, just almost knee-jerk reaction. Eric Draven. Eric. He never even actually really had a last name until the movie, The Crow. It's been my favorite since I was 14 years old. Hasn't changed. Just something about that inner teenage angst that just won't let go. That, and also the creator, James L. from Detroit. The comic is set in Detroit, and the way he drew it, it actually looks like Detroit from the 80s. Now, when you see the movie, and oh my god, I'm not going to get too far into this because it's the whole rant. The set in the movie looks nothing like Detroit. There, end of story. He must. I don't want to know what the hell James was on when he was walking through that set saying, "Oh my God, it's like I'm in my own backyard." Bitch, you must have been smoking something. Detroit don't look like that. It never did. Not even from all the pictures I saw in the 80s, and I used to fucking live there. I lived in Southwest Detroit. I was just there this weekend. I was just there for New Year's for Red Wings versus the Devils. Oh yeah, Red Wings beat the New Jersey Devils 3-1. I'm sure Edge was real happy about that. Okay, so Eric Draven's number 1. Number 2, Batman. Sorry, Steel. Batman forever. Not changing my mind on that. Him, Batman. Only reason it's so hard for me to figure out people is because I am a comic book fan, but my collection is very small. It's taken me years to get into comic books. Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. I mean, that was the first comic I ever owned. Was me, the director's cut. So I love that. Hack / Cassie Hack. I love her. She's actually, granted, yeah, the way they paint her, the way they dress her up is very sexist, but she's also a very strong female character who is not the stereotypical woman, and she's lesbian, which makes me even happier. I am not listening to lip dick suck. Okay, Anthrax. So it was The Crow, Batman, Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, Cassie Hack. I'm trying to think what else. Deadpool. I'm starting to get into Deadpool. I mean, it was only a matter of time. He's a mercenary, he's a smart ass, which is what really gets me. And he's constantly breaking the fourth wall. So, in a way, he's like CM Punk of the comic world, except he doesn't bitch out. He doesn't walk out trying to play nice. Honorable mention to Kabuki. And the reason I say honorable mention is Kabuki is definitely an acquired taste. David Mack is an absolute genius in the way he sets up his storylines. They're very non-linear, so you really got to pay close attention. And even first read-through, second read-through, third read-through, you're always catching something you missed before. Not to mention, he doesn't stick to one medium. Sometimes it's traditional pen to paper. Sometimes it's actual digital art. Sometimes it's mixed media. He uses varied methods, and he's actually a graphic artist. So, Rebecca, you should take a look at that. Honestly, I mean, as a graphic design artist, you should take a look at Kabuki and look at some of the mediums that David Mack has used. I'm trying to think of what else. I don't want to open the comics. So I have The Crow, I have Kabuki, I have Hack Slash. What else do I have? Well, it was 28 Days Later, but that's not character. Oh, also I gotta throw. I know this is more than 5. I'd say number 1 spot is tied between The Crow and Scarecrow. Yes, Scarecrow is a villain, and Scarecrow may be considered a little bit of an namby-pamby. But I like that his motivation was more psychological. It wasn't brute strength, and he, preyed on people's fears. And there actually have been a couple storylines where he had this like formula where he would turn into something called the Scare Beast, and he was pretty fucking beastly, and he got pretty brutal. And he probably could have gave Bane a run for his money. So, but I enjoy Scarecrow. I'm also very biased because what first introduced me to Scarecrow was Batman Begins and Cillian Murphy, and I remember walking into the theater 15 minutes late and sitting down, and I forget what scene it was, but it cut away to Gotham, and he's testifying to try to get that one, to get Victor Saz in the asylum. And I just remember sitting down, seeing the cutaway, and then seeing him going, "Ooh, the fuck is that? Ooh." And then that's when I discovered who Scarecrow was, and I'm like, no, that's a villain I can get behind. Besides Joker. He's rambling, messing with my hair, doing the usual ADD shit. Sorry. Thank you, baby. Chris Prater. Chris. Hi, Chris. If the current product of WWE were a 90s Nickelodeon sitcom, which would it be and why? I wouldn't even compare it to a sitcom. I'd compare it to All That. which of course is not so much sitcom as it was variety. I think that's the most accurate description, just because, in a way, like Raw and Smack. Sorry, it's RVD. It's Edge. Think about it. In a way, it is like a variety show because you've got so many different angles going on. Hardly any of them are intersecting, which is really weird. You figure at some point some of these angles will kind of intersect a little bit. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But there's always a lot going on, so I think comparing it to a variety show is actually a very apt description. And yes, I would compare it to all that, because they've got some sketches that were just completely ridiculously over the top, and then some of them were a little bit more subtle. Like Lori Beth, that weird skit that she used to have, talking about, different definitions and phrases. She's sitting in front of the desk, which could be very easily comparable to the Three Stooges behind the commentator's desk. What else? And then, I mean, obviously nothing gets as over the top as it does on Nickelodeon shows. With the exception of that one time that Dean had the clearance sale with all the merch, and then, the briefcase and right into Seth's fist, which I don't care how corny and stupid it was, that shit was funny. But yes, I would compare it to a variety show, and I compare it to all that. Because even every once in a while they have musical guests too. So. Alright. Lee Workman, and I remember him posting in the group, I have a question for you. If you don't really know anything about this, then I retract the question. No, the question is in. You were not retracting it. However, you are the one that's getting the two-parter, because you asked, which Japanese joshi, female, or in parentheses, female, promotion is the best in your opinion? Now, unfortunately, I don't really have exposure to any joshi or joshi promotion, to any Japanese female promotions. We're going to just put it like that. I mean, I've heard of Kana. Everybody in the group goes nuts over Kana. And seeing some of her moves, I can understand why. Bitch is fierce. Plus, I also have a soft spot for anybody who used to be in graphic design and then went into wrestling. She used to be a graphic designer, so... And we have a former member who goes on and on and on about the promotions all the time and how much they're so much better than divas. And admittedly, I am kind of curious, so this is what I'm going to do. Over the next 2 weeks, in my spare time, I'm going to check out some female promotions. Now, for all of you who actually do watch what goes on over in Japan, when I post this, post some links to promotions. Give me some suggestions on who or what to watch. That way I can actually formulate an idea. And in the next video, Lee, I will be able to give you a better answer, okay? So 2 weeks. I've got 2 weeks to do my homework, and then I'm going to come back to you on that. So you've given me a challenge. And you know what? Total Barney Stinson moment. Challenge accepted. And it's going to be legend. Wait for it. Wait for it. Dairy. Thank you. Alright, last one. Rich Williams. Hi, Rich. Who would you add to the 2015 WWE Hall of Fame? Owen. Martha needs to get over her shit. Let Owen go in. To at least give his family some peace of mind and closure. It's like, yes, I realize that was your husband. Yes, I realize you're permanently going to have something against the WWE because they basically robbed you of your husband, robbed your kids of their dad, and, then they probably didn't, his death probably could have been prevented. But he also died doing what he loved. Not that she's ever going to see this, but really, you've got to move on. He has thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of fans all around the world who would love to see him in the Hall of Fame, because if anybody deserves to be in there, it's him. I want to see my buddy in there. I want to see Owen in the Hall of Fame. Do I see it happening anytime soon? No, I don't. It's sad. It pisses me off. I don't ever think I'm going to see it in my lifetime. You know what? That's on Martha. I say we can petition all we want, but unless there were a way to overrule her, which I'm sure Brett could find a way. Brett's got that kind of influence still. Yes, I would love to. If I had my choice, if I could do it, I'd have Owen, and he'd be the first person announced. And in fact, he would be announced on Raw He would be announced on tomorrow night's Raw. If not, like, he would be the first. If not tomorrow night's, at least the first Hall of Fame announcement. It would be Owen, just flat out without hesitation. Okay, so that was it, and wow, shortest video yet, but not a lot of questions. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your patience, Lee. Give me some suggestions. Reese. I'm also looking at you, man. I'm looking at you. 2 weeks. I'll post it again. 2 weeks. I'm gonna have bright ass hair, and you're probably not gonna pay attention to the questions. You're just gonna stare at what's on my head. And in 2 weeks, I will see you. Via video. Until then, behave. We've got some roles getting ready to be posted. The site's getting ready to be relaunched. So behave. I may not be as active in the group as I have been, but I'm still there. I'm still lurking. Don't piss me off.